Hey there, awesome physics students. Let's talk about what is a force. How do we identify force and what distinguishes it between things like accelerations and velocities? Well, the first characteristic of a force is that it is a push or a pull on another object. And this appeals to our intuition about what is a force. If you push on a wall, you're putting a force on the wall. If you have a rope tied to a tractor and you're pulling on the tractor, that is a pull, that is a force on the tractor, which leads us to our next point, which is that forces always act on an object. Objects feel those forces, and then those forces that act on the object can change the motion of that object. They don't change the motion of objects they do not act on, which leads us to our next point, is that they require an agent. And what is an agent? An agent is a thing that causes the force. So this tells us that, that to have a force, you really need two objects. So for example, if I'm pushing on the wall feels the force. I'm the agent in that case. I'm the one putting the force on the wall. Likewise, if I put a force on a tractor, the tractor is the object that feels the force. Its motion is going to be subject to change. I'm the agent again in that case. There's a few other characteristics. One is that it's a vector, which tells us that forces have magnitude and direction, right? If you push harder, that's a bigger magnitude. And they always act in a direction. So gravity is pulling this pen down, and I'm pushing with my hand up on the object. If I pull on the tractor, I pull in a particular direction. All right. The final point here is that forces may be either long range or they may be contact forces. And contact forces are just forces because two objects are touching each other. So good examples of contact forces are friction, because two objects can't be exerting friction on each other without touching each other. Another good long-range force is gravity, right? This pin feels a gravitational force down. It's attracted to the Earth, but the Earth is the agent in that case, but the Earth isn't actually touching the pin. All right. So this is a nice summary of the characteristics of force. There's a few useful things to note that what forces are not. Inertia is not a force. Inertia is a resistance to changes in motion, but by itself it's not a force. Acceleration is not a force, right? Acceleration is changes in the motion of the object, changes in velocity. It's not a push or a pull, they're different. A force is not a direction, so think about centripetal. The word centripetal means center pointing. This word just tells you which direction that points. A force is not a direction. It requires an agent. It acts on an object. It's a push or a pull. It's not just a direction. Okay? So hopefully this clarifies what are and are not forces, and see you later.